La Yuqawam por by the House of Rasasi. Everyone knows that this one gets compared a lot to Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather, but how similar are they really? How's the quality in this one compared to Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather? Are they really that similar? La Yuqawam in Arabic translates to irresistible. So if you want to find out if this fragrance lives up to its name, stick around and check out this review. Hi everybody, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Thank you for tuning in with us again. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so if you're a fan of my content, and also consider giving this video a like. So I am going to be reviewing tonight La Yuqawam by the House of Rasasi, another Middle Eastern discount dupe brand. So a lot of these Middle Eastern houses like Rasasi, Afnan, and Armaf are really known for, manufacturing renditions of really popular niche and designer fragrances with their own little twists on it and at a much lower price. So I think, it's a really good thing because they take these particular scents that are wildly overpriced and inaccessible to most people, such as Creed Aventus or Oud for Greatness by Initio, for example. These Middle Eastern discount brands take products like that and manufacture them and then offer them at a very steep discount, essentially, is what they do. Now, Rasasi, like I said, is no exception, and they have manufactured their own version of Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather, and it's called La Yuqawam. So, introducing this box here right off the top, it's a wooden box, and it kind of resembles the box for Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather, the one it's trying to copy. Although they are not exactly the same, I do see what they're going for here. I see the similarity. So the front here, you see Rasasi, and this pulls off. It's a magnetic top, clicks right into place. I think that's kind of cool. Gonna bring the bottle out now. Symbol on the front, there's a maple leaf, and I'm not sure why. But the bottle itself is very nice. Seems to be good quality. There's a matte black finish here. Soft, velvety smooth. The bottle is slightly translucent. The cap is not good quality. Looks great. It's also made of wood, but as you can see here, when it slides on top of the atomizer, there's no friction. So I know I say this all the time, but if there is ever a bottle to not pick up by the cap, it is this one. There's just no friction. That will slide on very easily. It'll slide off very easily. So just don't pick this one up by the cap. Moving into the scent itself now. Great distribution. Very nice. Very nice. In the opening, it is a little bit strong, but I've had this now for several weeks and I wear it out. I've worn it in different situations. I've experienced this several times from the very beginning all the way to the dry down. I know how this performs. The opening is intense, but it does not last. So the official note breakdown is raspberry, saffron, and thyme in the top. In the mid, the official note breakdown is olibanum, jasmine, and artemisia. And in the dry down, we have leather, suede, woody notes, and amber. What I actually detect differs slightly. In the top, I definitely get raspberry mixed with saffron. Very nice. In the mid, I get a little tiny bit of olibanum, which adds, it's more of a smokiness as opposed to an incense. Olibanum is a resin. It lends itself to a lot of different incenses out there, but in this case, I get more of a vaguely smoky vibe as opposed to just resinous incense. And in the dry down, definitely some leather, slight woody notes, and that olibanum maintains itself and just gives it a slightly smoky, kind of woody dry down. And in the far dry down, there is a tiny bit of vanilla, but it's hardly detectable. So I will be right off the bat honest about this. The way the raspberry and the saffron interact up top kind of gives off the vague impression of gasoline So think of the original Tuscan Leather, for example. It doesn't smell exactly like gasoline, but there might be a slight gasoline tinge to it. That definitely exists in this one as well. Also, another one that's vaguely similar to this would be Dior's Fahrenheit. Although that one is more oily leather mixed with violet leaf that gives off that gasoline tinge. You know, it's different, but there's a similarity. So the leather in this one is not immediately strong. The leather, I find, only comes out several minutes after the initial application. Having said that, I think this is a very, very good fragrance here. I'll be honest, it smells almost identical to Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. In fact, I went to a perfume store earlier today and I sprayed Tuscan Leather on this wrist, and I've just sprayed this one, La Yuqawam, on this wrist. And I don't get any differences, honestly. They're pretty much the same to me. I know some people out there will be able to detect differences. I'm just telling you all what I detect with my own nose. I'm just not getting a difference. I think these two are pretty much identical. You know, a lot of times with dupe fragrances or copies or clones, as they say, they try to mimic what they're mimicking. You know, for example, Club de Nuit Intense Man smells like Creed Aventus, but it does not smell the exact same. Lattaf's Oud for Glory smells like Initio's Oud for Greatness, but they are not the exact same. I think this is pretty much the exact same smell as Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. So if you're a fan of that one, I think you're definitely going to want to check this one out here. And especially considering the price of this, the price is almost my favorite part. Now, this one came out several years ago, and when it first came out, it was very cheap. It was like $25 US. But now that the hype has grown around this one, the price has increased, and now it can be found for about $75 US with a coupon on FragranceNet, for example. So still very accessible, and that's for a 75 milliliter bottle, by the way. And when you take into consideration the fact that Tuscan Leather for a 50 milliliter bottle costs over $250 US, you know, it's a no-brainer. They smell exactly the same to me. So I think the reasonable choice here would be to just go with La Yuqawam. And I'll move on to performance now. The performance on this is great. It's actually very loud. It projects and projects very loudly beyond an arm's length for the first 2 hours. And then it slowly dies down closer to the skin, yes. But the longevity on this one is really good. I get at least 8 hours on my skin, probably longer than that. You know, the projection is really loud, like I said, for the first 2 hours, but it dies down as the hours go by. You know, and it's really, really nice here. The leather now, it's definitely making itself known, and after the first 10 minutes of initial application, the leather does stay for the life of the fragrance, although it starts off stronger, you know, when it appears 10 minutes after initial application, all the way to the end. It starts strong at that point, but it goes dying down, you know, as the hours go by as well. The raspberry is always kind of there in the background. It's a really nice scent. Like I said, if you're a fan of Tuscan Leather, if you like that DNA, you're definitely going to want to pick this one up. I think it's totally worth it. And, you know, the sillage also is quite good. It hangs around in the air for like 20 minutes after you spray this. Quite impressive performance overall. Versatility might not be that versatile because, like I said, it's a loud scent. It's a leather. It's not necessarily a clean leather. It leans slightly to the dirty side of leather, but at the same time, it's not animalic. All right, to my nose, I do not perceive this to be animalic at all. But having said that, this might not be everybody's cup of tea, especially for close quarters situations, right? Like I wouldn't wear this on a date. I wouldn't want to wear this in the office. This is more so to make your presence known. It's a bold scent. If you're out with the guys, for example, at the bar on the weekend, this would be one to wear for that occasion. If you're going around for a walk at nighttime in the cooler weather, this would be one to wear for that. If you're a biker, if you like to ride motorcycles, this would be a scent for you. If you like to wear leather jackets out in the cooler weather, this is a fragrance for you, for sure. So as I've said now, this is a strictly cold weather scent. It's very loud. It might be offensive to some people, but other than that, it's a very, very, very well done version of Tuscan Leather, to the point where, like I said, they're identical to my nose. The performance is honestly slightly better than Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. So at the end of the day here, I think that if you're a fan of that type of DNA, La Yuqawam by Rasasi is the best choice for sure. And I said at the beginning, La Yuqawam is Arabic for irresistible. Do I find this irresistible? I have to say I do, because I'm really a fan of this type of DNA. The leather, the slight gasoline tinge with the fruity, but not too fruity, raspberry. It just really works. This is my type of scent. I love it. I think it's irresistible. I can't get enough of it, and I'll probably buy a second bottle when this one runs out. So guys, that's been my review of the amazing La Yuqawam by the House of Rasasi. Hope you've enjoyed. See you next time, and until then, keep it real.